My phone vibrated while I was already on one knee. Not for her. For the camera she'd propped against the wine rack, red light blinking like a heartbeat I didn't share. "Lower," she whispered, smiling too hard. "The lighting was bad last time. I need this clean." The restaurant hummed around us, linen, crystal, muted wealth. People watched, phones tilted. I stayed still, hand near my shoe, breath even. Inside, something rearranged itself without sound. A decade of us compressed into a rectangle of glass. I looked up at her face, the practiced softness, the way her eyes checked the frame before they checked me. I felt a familiar ache calcify. Not anger, not yet. Precision. "Okay," I said, one word, perfectly calm. She nodded, relief flooding her like I'd passed an audition. Somewhere behind her smile was the math of views, the brand deals she'd already imagined, the caption she'd write about love. I tugged the lace. Knot. Loop. Pull. The room leaned in. I stood. She blinked, confused. The red light kept blinking. I picked up my coat and walked past the maitre d' without looking back, leaving her with the ring box, the bill, and the sound of 1,000 tiny gasps learning her name. Outside, the night air was clean. My phone vibrated again. This time, I didn't answer. It hadn't started there. It never does. Weeks earlier, she'd said it lightly, like a joke she expected me to carry. "Can you propose again? The lighting was bad the first time. I need content." She laughed, touched my arm, kissed the idea instead of me. I told myself it was harmless, that love could survive a lens, that compromise was a virtue. I'd been saying versions of that sentence for years. But the details began to snag. The ring shots reshot, the dinners rearranged, our arguments postponed until after posting hours. She spoke to her phone with more patience than she spoke to me. At night, I watched the glow from her screen wash her face into someone else's. When I asked if we could keep one thing private, she frowned like I'd asked her to dim the sun. "You know how this works," she said. "Not us. This." I didn't accuse. I listened. I cataloged. The way she practiced tears. The way she studied comments like scripture. The way our life became raw material. I realized quietly that I wasn't her partner. I was a prop. I didn't confront her. Confrontation is loud. It warns people. I watched instead. I checked timestamps against stories, noticed which messages disappeared when I entered the room. The name she never said aloud, M, that lived in her DMs like a second pulse. Her manager, or so she said. I learned the cadence of performance, when she softened, when she sharpened. I learned how easily affection could be edited. I scrolled back far enough to find the first draft of me, how I'd been introduced to her audience as a surprise, then slowly recut into a fixture, something expected, replaceable. At dinner, I smiled, paid, asked about her day. Inside, I was arranging exits. I rehearsed the moment not as revenge, but as release. I wanted silence where her narration couldn't reach. When she asked for the redo, I agreed without hesitation. That was when she relaxed. That was my opening. The truth arrived the way it always does, anticlimactic, undeniable. An email meant for someone else, a calendar invite labeled chemistry test, screenshots sent by a follower who thought I deserved to know how the story ended. She wasn't waiting for marriage, she was auditioning replacements. I printed nothing, I confronted nothing. I asked one question I already knew the answer to. "Do you love me?" I said one night as she edited. She didn't look up. "Of course," she said. The cursor blinked. The lie settled. I nodded. That was enough. At the restaurant, she thought she was directing a scene. She didn't see me rewriting the genre. When I stood and walked away, her face collapsed in stages. Confusion, panic, calculation. She reached for my sleeve and missed. The camera kept rolling. The audience smelled blood. By morning, the video was everywhere. Man humiliates fiancé. Proposal gone wrong. She deserved better. She messaged, called, apologized to me the way people apologize to a brand. Careful, strategic, too late. I sent one text, "You got your content." Then I blocked her. I don't miss her. I miss the version of myself who thought love could be staged without cost. Now when my phone vibrates, it's quiet again. My life doesn't need angles. My silences aren't monetized. She's still posting, explaining, crying on cue. The audience moves on. I did first. The last thing I learned was simple and final. If someone needs a camera to feel loved, they will never see you, only their reflection. And I'm done being reflected.